we got some news coming out this week about what summer gaming conferences we're going to be having in the next few weeks. And so I want to do a quick rundown of what we know about so far, what's happening, what's popping, and like go through a little bit of like what we think, and also who hasn't announced stuff so far. So, John.
Yes.
What you might be scared to know that in less than 2 weeks, in 13 days, we kick things off on the 5th of June with day one of Guerrilla Collective. That'll be what's kicking us off this year. 2 days this time, day one happening on the 5th of June. We did reactions to Guerrilla Collective last year. What did you think about it?
Yes. I thought it was great. It was simple, tight. I liked everything they were able to touch upon. I'm actually really excited for the Guerrilla Collective and see round 2, I guess, or version 2 of what they're going to do with it. I think it was awesome.
Yeah, I liked it too. It was like they had 3 days last year, so I think it's good. It's smart that they're going down to 2. But also, the way they did it last year was they did the first Guerrilla Collective stream, which was like more of your traditional press conference showcase, and then the other 2 days they did like live gameplay demos, sort of like Nintendo Treehouse. I liked that a lot. It obviously wasn't very reactable. I hope that's the kind of split they do, where day 1 is like a conference and day 2 is just like a Treehouse.
Yep.
But I don't know. On the 10th of June then is when things start to get spicy. We have Summer Games Fest Kickoff Live happening. Summer Games Fest this year is going to be a little different. It's going to more mimic what we have with Gamescom and its opening night live stuff, where the bulk of the announcements Jeff Keighley is going to present on a live set, he mentioned.
Oh.
So it's going to be more of a traditional press conference and rattle through stuff. There is a music performance by Weezer.
All right. Cool.
Excellent. There's also some additional stuff that I just want to pull up. Yeah, so he said, expect new game announcements, world premieres, video game themed musical performances, special guests, and Day of the Devs with I Am 8-Bit. They said they were having Day of the Devs a while ago. I don't know if that's a separate thing or whether that's happening immediately after this kickoff show or whether it's like rolled on into it. But that's the way they're going with that. And yeah, the large, the big sort of PR push coming out of this year's Summer Games Fest from Jeff seems to be, we're doing things more compact. We're bringing everything together into like hopefully the month of June. He says it won't be the whole month of June, but like think the month of June for most of your stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's going to be right on the heels of E3. Before that, though, we have on the 12th of June, the Guerrilla Collective Day 2, as I mentioned. Then, on the 12th of June, kicking off the E3 conferences, as far as we know, will be Ubisoft Forward. I hope it's not too much like last year's, because it was kind of, nah.
Yeah. Ubisoft Forward was like very weird, just like cool.
But I feel like now that they're part of the E3 umbrella, they'll kick themselves into gear. They'll announce them premium titles, them big AAA stuff. Also, a fair point, Rose mentioned that in chat. So, a big thing that Jeff's doing this year is, obviously, we reacted to the Game Awards and stuff, and they had the Future Days performance, which was heavily copyrighted, and copyright strict on every YouTube channel that did reactions and didn't mute it. This time, he is making it very clear and doing a big push to make sure that any music performed will be completely royalty-free for anyone doing official reactions. Live reactions are important to him, so thanks, Jeff, for that. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We love reactions. Thank you, Pap Jeff. And yeah, so like we'll be pumping Weezer on the 10th of June. We'll be pumping it loud as it possibly goes. You can't catch us, YouTube. So yeah, then the Ubisoft Forward's happening 12th of June. On the 13th of June is the combined love affair of the PC Gaming Show followed by Future Game Show. PC Gaming Show, a long veteran of E3. Future Game Show returning from last year, and a few spring showcases here and there. This is normally one you tag out on and take a break, which is honestly, like, the PC Gaming Show is such a great, like, sit back and, like, chill out conference. Like, we'll do reactions to it, obviously. Like, at the very least, I'll be there. But like, I will be like quiet and chill for the most of it.
We're just gonna hang out and watch this one, guys.
Yeah, it's quite like relaxed, and like there's normally like a few nuggets there. Normally some weird shit that you haven't seen before, and Day 9's hosting as well. So It'll always be good. Future Games Show was, from what I remember last year, almost good. Like, I remember enjoying it at the time, but I don't think there were many big hitting announcements out of it. The biggest thing I remember of Future Games Show last year was the weird demo they did in Unity of, like, automatically generated Geralt voice from Witcher 3. And he's like, yes, I want to settle for racing. So that's what sticks in my mind. But yeah, going to be paying attention to that as well. Then what we know is on the 16th of June and carrying on until the 22nd will be Steam Next Fest. This is the new name for the Steam Games Festival, which will be downloadable demos on Steam for about a week around E3 time for a bunch of indie games. Jeff says hopefully there'll be some bigger titles there this time as well to try and take advantage of.
That'd be awesome.
So yeah, we continue to stand demos. We will stand demos until the end of time. Steam Next Fest is one of my favourite things. On the 22nd of July, big time skip there, big gap that needs to be filled. EA Play Live is happening. EA Play is getting far away from E3 for whatever reason. So yeah, they'll be doing that over there on the 22nd of July. Then on the 25th of August, we have Gamescom Opening Night Live. That will probably be the big grand finale for summer game stuff. Some other games, it's too early to speculate on Gamescom. We haven't even got to E3 yet, please, people. Two conferences that we know are definitely happening, confirmed, but we just don't have dates or times for yet, is... This is an interesting one, John, because this article came out, it was like a foreign language, it was translated, so I don't know how this should be framed. Xbox and Bethesda are obviously having a joint press conference, because Xbox and Bethesda now. Now, the way people were framing this is like it's going to be Xbox and Bethesda holding hands and giving you games. I always assumed that it would just be Xbox, and then the Bethesda games were sprinkled out in there.
We bought Bethesda, and it's in there now. Like I can see Xbox's, because Xbox is usually about an hour and a half ish, give or take.
They've pulled out some 2-hour ones before, and but they can stretch to 2 easily now with Bethesda, easily.
Yeah. And I'm thinking that because I know we've got it under TBA, which they haven't announced yet. I looking at the calendar, I think this is a 2-hour conference on Saturday night on the 15th. I think that's the
No, I was just thinking it's kind of sad to me because as much as I like that these two giant conferences are forming into one mega conference, it's going to be 2 hours of non-stop fire. That's great, but the Bethesda conference for me at E3 was always the wild card. It was always such a weird energy and always different. And even if it was bad, you enjoyed the badness. There was that one where they were showing Rage 2 and Andrew WK was just performing and he was rocking the fuck out and the crowd was dead.
Not in it.
Just
they were just what is happening right now?
What's happening? So it was always such a weird energy and I loved it. And so part of me hopes that it is an Xbox cross Bethesda conference where it's typical Xbox energy for the first hour and then
Bethesda
second hour, all bets are off. Todd Howard's coming out there, he's doing some weirdness. And part of me hopes if there's a crowd, which I'm not betting there will be for this, I think it's got to be a digital only event. But if there were a crowd, I'm hoping that for the Xbox part, they're kind of quiet. And then once Bethesda comes on, they're wow! Fallout 76!
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Fallout 76.
This goes online, fuck yeah! And then the other, before we move on from that, people are speculating about Starfield coming out this year. You're all crazy people. Jason Schreier bumped on that saying it's going to be here at this conference. It's not coming out until late 2022 at least. So put your expectations in order. If you're expecting to see Elder Scrolls 6, good luck to you. I hope all your dreams come true.
Don't hold your breath. Yeah. Starfield into 2022, Xbox exclusive. I'm saying it.
And then we also have Square Enix Presents. This one actually hasn't been officially announced, but you can make the deduction where they had a spring Square Enix showcase and they said we're going to do another one in the summer. They recently announced that they were going to be part of E3. You can put 2 and 2 together on that one. They're going to have an E3 thing. Don't have a D on that one yet, though. Rose points out and Woozy Tiger in chat also points out that Devolver is going to be a fun one. I hope they have a conference this year. I read a headline that says they have 4 new games to announce at E3 / Summer Game Fest. I don't know if it's going to be their own thing. I don't know if it's going to be part of this Kickoff Live. But I know that I missed having the Devolver conference last year, because those are so well produced, just comedic genius things.
They had one.
They didn't have one last year, did they?
Yeah, they did.
No.
Yeah, because I remember at the end of it, the behind the scenes, they showed them, like, everyone was in masks and how they actually filmed it safely, because there was, like, 4 people on set. That was it. Yeah, they had one last year,
did I? They had a Devolver Direct last year?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I need to look that up after the show. I think you're all crazy people, because, like, I would have knew, because I would have been on that stuff day one. Anyway.
Actually, I'm not going to say, like, I remember Rose and we ended the day for Playhouse, and all of a sudden we're like, wait, Finn, we didn't factor in Devolver. And you were like, oh, crap. Oh, well. And we're like, wait, what? And so we just were like, screw it. All right, Rose and I turned it on in the front room, obviously, and started watching it. But yeah, I distinctly remember the, like, behind the scenes when they're all done, because they showed maybe 4 or 5 people on set at a time, socially distanced, masked, and everything. Oh, July 11th.
They totally did, and I totally missed it. Damn. I missed the thing. I gotta go watch that now. Probably all the games are out. I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
All right. That's rocked me. Yeah. One thing I do hope kind of is there is the Paradox Interactive thing. Paradox Showcase. That was the weird one with the weird murdery guy that kept saying weird shit. I hope he's there too. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about here notably absent. I wrote down Devolver, clearly not. Nintendo. What's Nintendo doing, John?
They said they were going to be in on E3.
They have a little game coming out that you might have heard of this year, still slated for this year, called Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, John. You might have heard of it.
Haven't heard of this game before now.
I also have another one in the same series called Zelda Skyward Sword HD Remaster for the 35th anniversary. It's a long-running series.
Does that come out before E3?
Does it?
I think
my timeline is all wrong. I don't know what's happened. Have I time skipped? Have I fallen into a different dimension?
I think Skyward Sword comes out before E3.
Okay.
Or like right around E3. Hold on, and I have to look.
Probably like March 17th for Breath of the Wild 2, Rose says. I don't want to hear it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 7/16. So July 16th is when Skyward Sword HD comes out.
Here's the thing. They just had their investor talk.
Yes.
They would have mentioned Breath of the Wild being delayed. They would have mentioned it. They totally would have said, hey, but then it would still be in the financial year. God damn it. All right, moving on.
Yep.
PlayStation. They also got a big game coming out around June 11th called Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, John. Will they do something for... I don't know what that voice is, but...
and they're coming down the... horse racing. And they're off. I'm like, what the hell?
PlayStation coming in with some hot exclusives. Oh, they bought NetherRealm and they failed at the hurdle. PlayStation, they doing anything this year? What are they doing? Are they doing a state of play? Is it going to be a conference? What's happening?
They'll do state of play probably in July. Because then we all speculated they were going to do it in June, and they didn't, right? It was in July, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, this was for the PS5 big showcase thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what Sony's going to do, to be honest with you. I want them to show... Obviously, they're going to show off something like... They've got Ratchet and Clank, which is coming out right around the beginning of... right at E3, the beginning of it.
Just right there.
Yeah, they've already given us everything we needed on Ratchet and Clank, so another state of play is going to be something completely different. Like, here's a new game. The controllers are coming out. The new controllers are coming out about the same time. I think, the middle of June, so I think they're coming out during E3. I think if they do a state of play, then they'll have to do something they have to give us something for the fall, and I don't know what that could honestly be. Minus Horizon Zero Dawn or not Thor Ragnarok, but God of War Ragnarok.
Those are the only. God of Thor Ragnarok.
God of Thor Ragnarok. That'd be awesome. Yeah, those are the only two games it slated in the fall. It's still on the docket for Horizon Forbidden West to come out, so I see us getting a state of play. One of the major state of plays where it's just them focusing on that. I think we'll probably get that in July for a March 17th, 2021 or 2022 release, so we can take on Breath of the Wild too.
For Horizon, they can't both move, John. They can't both move. You have to give it one.
They can. They 100% can. You know it.
This is your fault somehow. Also not there yet, but part of the E3 list of publishers. Capcom normally appear at Sony's stuff if they do a thing, so I don't think they'll have their own conference. Whatever. Just release Resident Evil 8. Like, what are they going to show? The VR game for Oculus? Get out of here. Sega could do something. If they want to be global, they got to be at E3.
Yeah, they got to be at E3.
It's real. Gearbox is for some reason listed as a publisher. I think that just means they'll be there in some other stuff. Take-Two Interactive traditionally don't do conferences. It's not like we're going to see GTA 6 ever. This is an interesting one. Warner Bros. Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment is listed as a official publisher partner of E3 2021. Will it still exist by the time E3 2021 starts? Who knows?
Find out.
And Koch Media, who are the corporate overlords of THQ Nordic, which they could definitely do a conference. It would be the type of energy I like. Likely a lot of licensed stuff, but I don't know for sure what their plans are. Yeah. It could be that these people who aren't having their own conferences but are part of the thing are like doing some demo stuff. Maybe releasing some demos.
Demo stuff might be built in somewhere during the bigger conferences. I mean, I wouldn't be so. Again, we're a speculation town. I've heard rumors about a new Sonic collection coming out. I could see that dropping in with Nintendo on there.
I also saw those rumors. Yeah.
So I'd be down with that. Give us a new collection, timed exclusive on the Switch for a little bit, because it seems like Sega and Nintendo get along pretty well.
They just talked about releasing things on all the consoles, John. Why are you giving them exclusives?
I said timed exclusive. There's a difference.
Okay. Tiger in chat says they want Skies of Arcadia on Switch, so do I. They didn't even mention that in their dormant IP stuff, so...
That is a dead IP, unfortunately.
It's dead forever.
And I hate that.
So that's what we got for E3 so far. Likely to have some hot and heavy updates coming in the next few weeks as we get closer to the conferences. I'm excited to see where Microsoft land. I think they'll be like the first one. But yeah, I like that it's sort of mostly, for the most part, sort of contained to a week now.
Yeah.
A few outliers
I took that week off.
Yeah. I really hope Sony get in that week as well. I know they don't want to be there, but just please, for the love of God.
Yeah, there's a huge empty spot. Well, I mean, there's an empty spot on the 17th. I'm looking at like the times, because in my head, I've already put Nintendo on the 18th because they always did something on that Tuesday. They kind of were the end of E3. So in my head, Nintendo's going on June 18th. There is nothing on June 17th. So you can either slot Xbox in there, but Xbox, they started with Bethesda. Like, I remember it was Xbox that moved right into Bethesda on that Saturday when E3 started. So I don't know, maybe they'll take that spot. Here we are speculating about times when conferences are going to happen. Finn, you and I are broken men. I want you to know that. So we're talking about times. Jesus.
E3 was always so comfortable the way they had. I sound like an old man, but like day one, Microsoft, sometimes Bethesda. Day two, PC gaming show, laid into Ubisoft, laid into Sony. Day three, Nintendo. That was a great system. Such a great system.
Felt so good. You knew what you were getting, and you're like, I'm in on this. And now it's like, well, we screwed up last year because of a pandemic. Now, free for all, everyone grab a new slot.